17 Solutions Publishing presents The Blue Collar Inventor, Escaping the 9 to 5, The Proven Method. Preface. As a successful inventor, I've typically been opposed to the notion of selling a book on inventing. After all, there's a saying, those who can do, do. Those who can't, teach. I also told myself that if I were ever to write a book, it would only be after turning a small idea into a household name. I believe that anyone worth listening to should have at least a decade of experience and a wealth of knowledge. Based on the books I had read before achieving success, I noticed that truly successful individuals often spoke and wrote in parables. They would generalize principles of hard work and gloss over specific details, leaving me with unanswered questions. I decided I should follow suit. Subsequently, in the year 2023, a dear friend and I launched the Invent With Me podcast. Marcus, the inventor of quick tie-down anchors, joined me, offering a product that complemented my cargo strap invention nicely. The podcast aimed to uncover the journey of bringing a product to market, focusing intensely on the intricate details. Within 10 episodes, we began receiving encouraging messages and intriguing emails from aspiring inventors. By the 20th episode, we were inundated with questions and topics we had not previously considered. Guests soon became integral to our show, as we gleaned insights from lawyers, trade show promoters, engineers, and fellow inventors. My initial plan was to offer as much value as possible through the podcast for as long as possible, and that remains my objective. However, what I did not anticipate was the profound impact the podcast would have on my perspective on inventing as a whole. After documenting our journey for almost a year, I became curious and decided to revisit our first episode to hear what our new inventors might be experiencing as they embark on their journey. I was shocked by the topics Marcus and I discussed. What seemed like minor details now were major hurdles for us back then. Additionally, we were receiving questions about things we had said that we couldn't even recall. Why was this happening? Was it amnesia? I took a long drive that weekend and listened to our first episodes again, allowing myself to immerse into that time period. I began to relive the same fears I had felt over what I now considered trivial issues. My heart ached for the younger version of myself who was still so preoccupied with insignificant matters like email marketing, setting up business Instagram accounts, and dealing with taxes. That's when it hit me. At some point in the entrepreneurial journey, business owners like myself simply become disconnected. Whether you call it forgetfulness, dismissiveness, or something else entirely, the fact remains. There comes a point when you lose touch and forget the details. Today, I run a successful business that emerged as a byproduct of one of my inventions, a means to an end, if you will. Currently, I'm in the process of developing another invention, but I'm proceeding cautiously to avoid jeopardizing my current earnings. As of December 31st, 2023, I closed out my third year in business with $1 million in gross sales, a milestone worth celebrating. The year 2024 started off stronger than ever before, with a successful product launch, another lucrative Kickstarter campaign, and a planned first-class trip to China in the pipeline. I can safely say, I am about to lose touch. As I sit in my office today, my aim is to ensure that I assist you with what I might forget tomorrow. My commitment is to write from feelings rather than from facts, guaranteeing that you won't be left in the dark on any subject, big or small. Introduction. It's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, statistically one of the most depressing times of the week. You've been employed in one capacity or another for some time now. Nothing surprises you anymore. The nuances of the American workforce have all exposed themselves as the formulaic and predictable cycles they are. Hourly wages and salary have become a predetermined path with no surprises. Somehow, so early in life, retirement becomes the only goal. For now, it's clear that financial freedom means sacrifice. In your 20s, you financed new vehicles and felt the associated pain, thus, you drive a modest car. In your 30s, you bought a new home with a mortgage that consumes 50% of your monthly income. Therefore, you only vacation once a year and buy scratchy toilet paper. Kids come into the equation, so evening cash has been reallocated into the Christmas fund. When gaining is no longer an option, we become very good at losing. Income versus expenses, you can really only manipulate one. Cost of living raises, overtime pay, and the occasional bonus offer relief for the time being, but are usually lost on a new, irrationally justified creature comfort. So often, you have found yourself overjoyed with a highly taxed overtime check, only to hand it directly to the wireless store so you can remain somewhat connected to your kids. Another year passes, and you find yourself 365 days older with 3 new monthly expenses. You take solace in the fact that your home will be paid off in 30 years. Your 401k, although you don't quite understand it, serves as a warm, fuzzy blanket that might, one day, ease your anxiety. One day. Much like a smoker going after another drag, another hour of work feels like it will provide relief. Ask anyone who has smoked, and they will tell you, more of a bad thing is usually a bad thing. Sure, 1 more hour of work means 1 more outfit for your kids, but it also means 1 less hour of backyard playtime. 2 more hours of work could mean steak for dinner, just not this week. Daddy's working. By now you understand the value of building money systems that provide for your family without taking too much of your time. Perhaps you've made the leap into real estate and purchased a second home which you can fix up, rent out, and then, one day, turn a profit. Perhaps you took one look at the value proposition of a rental home and spit it out like sour milk. That's okay. That just means you're normal. My guess would be that you've leaned back into the 1 more hour of work and checked the calendar for your next scheduled raise. That's okay. That just means you're normal. Then again, you read the title of this book, listened to audio samples, examined the cover art, and opened the first page. By that right, you're actually anything but normal. In fact, you're a bit abnormal. You're an inventor. I am not an inventor. Specialists in the STEM professions, they are inventors. Thomas Edison, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates, those are inventors. They had great ideas that work and change lives. That's an inventor. Wrong. These are business owners. There's a difference. You see, everyone is an inventor, because inventing is quite simple and does not require any tangible result. A toddler hiding household items behind a chair has invented a way to aggravate mom and dad without punishment. Mom and dad can now file a patent on the toddler's behalf titled, Method for Creating Confusion While Avoiding Punishment. And for $9,500, a lawyer will draft 20 pages of legal language to ensure the patent processes through the USPTO. The sad part is, her invention would not be lonely among the millions of other useless inventions on file. Business owners invent and implement. Ask any business owner if they are an inventor, and they will likely say no. The accountant down the road has successfully invented a system of tax filing that can handle business, personal, and sales tax all under one roof without taking up too much of her time. An invention that makes her hundreds of thousands of dollars passively. Yet, she would never identify as an inventor. She's a business owner. You see, invention and business work together. One without the other has no value. A business can never survive without owning an invention that their competitor does not have. An invention cannot survive without a business to prove it works. Successful inventing is a beautiful combination of business skills and intellectual property. Combining these two elements usually equals wealth. In fact, much like gasoline in a match, the outcome can be nothing but explosive in most cases. Simple ideas, mediocre ideas, hell, even bad ideas can generate wealth. Just take a look at the pet rock from the mid-1970s. Gary Dow filled a warehouse with something no one else had. Rocks with eyeballs. Sure, Gary never patented the idea, but still, he held tens of thousands of units of inventory. With a simple trademark, he now held intellectual property and inventory that no one else had. Dow then simply combined business marketing principles and people pulled out their wallets. Dow sold thousands of rocks per day in its heyday. And even as the fad faded, Dow was able to rinse and repeat the same formula for 3 new tongue-in-cheek products. The truth is, not many of us are a Gary Dow. We are inventors. We like to tinker. And we have 1 or 2 ideas in our notepad that we want to capitalize on in the most efficient way possible. Very few inventors are social media savvy, nor do they naturally possess the charisma to run a trade show booth in Las Vegas. Most inventors don't have a business background, nor the financial means to invest $100,000 into their own startup. Most inventors are smart enough to avoid the charlatans who want to make their inventing dream come true. However, they still fall for the fallacy that a company will take them from A to Z and make them wealthy based on some notepad drawings and a provisional patent. In my teenage years, I had an invention idea. I built a prototype in my parents' garage and saw the invention seemed to have merit. My father loved the idea, and I thought it may be fairly useful, so I left it at that. Life went on, jobs came and went, marriage, home ownership, and parenthood consumed my life. Somewhere around age 30, I felt I had maxed out my career in its present format. However, life continued to grow around me, and I was the bottleneck. So desperate for anything fruitful in my life, I started an unsuccessful lawn care channel on YouTube. A few weeks had gone by, and I was flush with 50 followers. I quickly viewed them as potential customers, but customers of what? T-shirts? After a bit more passive income research, I learned that the only way to make money selling something is to have a unique product that nobody else has. My invention journey had begun. While it's true this journey requires money, my goal is to ensure you that you don't spend nearly as much money as I did. Yes, it's true that the journey requires you to find time. But you will not have to find the absurd morning hours as I did, 2:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m., Monday through Friday. Of course, you will need to perform amateur marketing duties to let people know you have created something special. But your marketing efforts won't embarrass you like mine did. Together, we are going to confidently march the short path to inventing success and create value that people need. Wealth will simply be a byproduct.